I'm Jim Thorp and JT Ethos, and conscious that for the various videos and blog posts I've put out over the months and years, I don't think I've ever really put a video up about how I got into personal training and my journey, if you like, over the last 20 years. The way I generally tell it is, as I was growing up as a kid, there's only two things I wanted to do. I wanted to play rugby for England and I wanted to fly aeroplanes. And I didn't do either of those, although I did come fairly close to doing both. So I spent 10 years in the RAF regiment. I also spent about 10 years playing semi-professional and professional rugby. Very fortunate in that the two kind of coincided, so I can't say I did a huge amount of active service with the Air Force, but I was allowed to pursue my rugby career. Both of those are young man's games, came to an end in about 2003 when I decided to leave the Air Force. My rugby career finished a couple of years later with my fourth shoulder reconstruction. And again, coming out of the Air Force, it was time then to sort of think about what I was going to do next. And I decided that I liked people and I liked health. And so I looked at lots of different options. I even applied for the NHS Management Service, which thank goodness that didn't go anywhere, because I'm not sure that would have been particularly good for me. And a friend of mine, one of those sort of party moments in life, when a friend of mine turned around and went, "Why don't you do what I'm doing?" And he was an old uni friend of mine. I've got a sports science degree, and he said, "I'm using my degree, I'm working with people, I'm working in a tracksuit, and I'm working for myself." And I sort of went, "Fair enough, that sounds all right for me, and we'll go from there." As you can see from the slide, since then, initially my brief was very much to go and get working with people and understand how people work, understand when you can push them, understand when you've got to hold back a little bit, understand when to sort of have really sort of drive them through, and so and also when to hold them back. And I've got to be honest, I've broken quite a few people over the years. Fortunately, I've put together many more than I've broken. But again, learned a lot of lessons over those years. I tend to describe my path from about 2004. Well, 2004 was when I started in the health and fitness industry. I was that personal trainer, stood on the treadmill having a chat to somebody whilst they sweated away. But I generally would describe my sort of career in kind of three stages. There was the gym-based side, where getting to know people, understanding how to work with people, then moving into spinal rehabilitation. I was always really passionate about doing that and getting into the rehab side. Initially, I was doing that in a gym environment. Then I moved into a more clinical environment, working with osteopaths, chiropractors, surgeons, physiotherapists, so on and so forth. But then moving sort of through back pain, if you like, into sort of whole body work. So once you get good at dealing with somebody's back, then they start to sort of ask you about the shoulder and about the neck and about the knees and other bits and pieces like that. So the final third of my career has pretty much been about sort of mastering health across the whole body, both musculoskeletal, but also digestive, nutritional, emotional, and sort of rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, and combining all of those things in. And so I really now describe what I do as kind of, initially it was whole body rehabilitation, but that's a real mouthful, and guess what, nobody actually Googles that, so it wasn't a great phrase to use. But it's really about getting people healthy and helping the people I'm working with to become the healthiest version of themselves. And that's really what motivates me now. What motivates me is helping people see that with just a few changes and doing the right things consistently, just how many improvements they can make. And what's really cool is to see that they can make improvements across a really wide variety of things, from losing weight, improving their back, getting rid of back pain, getting rid of knee pain or neck pain, getting rid of digestive discomfort, achieving sporting goals they never thought was possible, getting a good night's sleep even, the joy that people get when they've come in and they've had 5 good nights sleep on the bounce is really quite something. So really, my motivation is just about helping people really understand how to be the best version of themselves and kind of fight that aging process and understand that it doesn't matter whether you're into your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, 70s. My oldest client is even into his 90s. That actually you can still have a really vibrant, thriving body that will allow you to live the life that you want. And that fundamentally is what really drives me each and every day. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about my backstory. I might share a little bit of a video further down the line about exactly how I became into the kind of whole body concept and blending nutritional coaching with emotional coaching and so on and so forth. So look out for that one in a sort of few weeks' time. But yeah, that's a bit about me and how I ended up where I am today. Thanks a lot.